If you're currently homeless in Toronto, this is exactly what you need to do. This is not coming from someone who's outside of the club. I was just homeless for more than 5 months in 2025, and now I'm home. And no, I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't have no regular job, okay? We started from scratch and we made it happen. So if you want to know how to get out of being homeless, keep watching. Yes, I tell you how to get some money near the end. So I'm not gonna get too much into how I became homeless because I made a video and you could click the link right here. So the first thing you want to do if you just became homeless, let's say you got kicked out, let's say you're behind on rent, let's say whoop whoop whoop, you're homeless, you ain't got nowhere to go. First and foremost, you need to call Central Intake. Central Intake is the hub for all homeless shelters in the GTA. I'm pretty sure it's all around Ontario, but I'm from Toronto, so I know for sure it's the GTA. If you're gonna Googling shelters like I did and trying to call them directly, they're going to direct you to this number. Everything you need is going to be in the description box down below. They're going to direct you to call Central Intake. When you call Central Intake, you're gonna give them your name, your birthday, just basic information. If you're homeless with a sister, daughter, whatever, and then they're going to try to match you with a shelter. Now, here's the problem. Some people are God's favorites and they call Central Intake once and they get a shelter bed like that. But other people like me have to call. I was calling for over a month before I got any shelter bed released to me. If you're homeless, maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe I should couch hop, maybe I can stay at a friend's house for now, blah, blah, blah. But that is something temporary, that is not long term. If you actually are really homeless and you have no choice but to get help, accept the help. Couch hopping is not gonna last long. Eventually, they're gonna wanna start asking for rent. And if you're homeless, you probably don't have money for rent right now, do you? Huh. Okay, cool. The main reason why shelters exist is not only to help the homeless have a place to sleep, but it's also to help the homeless have a home. So you're going to call Central Intake, which is going to be in the description box down below. And if they tell you call back in 2 hours, call back in an hour, you keep calling, annoy them. And you can't make it sound like yeah, like I'm couch hopping, like yeah, I'm at a friend's house. No, you got to tell them, I'm on the streets, babe. I'm on the streets. If you say that you're couch hopping, if you say you're staying at a cousin's house, if you just say that you have a roof over your head, whether it's yours or not, they are not going to take you seriously because there is a housing crisis. There is a homeless crisis in Toronto right now. There are a lot of people who are sleeping on benches in this cold ass winter and they get priority over people who have the luxury to even couch hop. So if you're actually homeless, you need to say, I literally have nowhere to go. I'm sleeping at a bus shelter. Like I need a bed for me and my daughter, me and my sister, or just myself. Just keep calling, and eventually a bed will open up. Beds open up when someone is late for curfew, so they get discharged from shelters. Beds open up when somebody finds housing, so they get discharged from shelters. Beds open up when people get kicked out of shelters, so they get discharged from the shelter. And when a bed opens up, you want to make sure that you're calling the phone so that bed can come to you fast. Now, the next step after Central Intake says that they have a bed available for you, you have 2 hours to get to where you need to get to. Maybe I should also preface this by saying that shelters do have rules. So if you're the type of person who maybe you have like a nightlife job, or maybe you work in a club like I was working in the club, maybe you have some type of prior commitment that requires you to sleep overnight, I would recommend that you wait to call CI until after those late night situations occur, because when you get in the shelter, you need to be on your best behavior. The shelter helps people who clearly want to help themselves. If you get up in the shelter and you start disrespecting the counselors, disrespecting the workers, if you're not cleaning up after yourself, if you're missing curfew, they are not going to want to feel inclined to help you. The reason why I was able to find a house in around 5 months as opposed to others who have been in the shelter system for years is because I was on my best behavior. I was always coming on time for curfew, and if I wasn't coming on time for curfew, I let them know ahead of time so they can give me an extension. When you live in a shelter, be prepared to have curfew. Be prepared to have rules that you have to follow in order to stay there, because it's either you follow the rules and you stay there, or you don't follow the rules and you sleep in the snow. Which do you choose? So the reason why I got my housing so fast is because I was very respectful. I was doing my best to come on time. I was cleaning up after myself. I was just being a delight to be around. I was also on the counselor's ass. Every single day I'm like, hey, let's do my case plan. Let me get my housing. What's the next step? What do I need to do? Boop, 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 boop. Now, this depends on what age you are. I was lucky that I was only 24 when I became homeless, so I was able to get into a youth shelter. And from what I've heard, especially from workers who have worked in youth shelters and adult shelters, is youth shelters are better. So if you're under 25 right now, consider yourself lucky because youth shelters will treat you better than adult shelters. So when you get to the shelter, you want to be on their ass about giving you a case plan. Every youth shelter, I should say, because that's the one that I was specifically in, they create a case plan with you. So maybe you do have a job and maybe you are getting some money, but it's not enough to help you pay rent. They will help you save. They will literally lock up your money. Nobody's gonna touch it and help you save to eventually start renting or whatever the case is. Or they will help you get into transitional housing. Transitional housing is in between you having your own place / a place that you share with people versus being in a shelter. Being in a shelter, there are some restrictions. In my shelter, we were not allowed to go in the kitchen. We had chefs. We didn't have to clean up, and we had curfews, obviously. I don't know about transitional housing because I'm lucky enough to not have gone through that. But from what I've heard from the people that did go to transitional housing, it's like a shared housing unit. You share the kitchen. Sometimes there's like meal programs and stuff, and then you get to share space. Some of them have curfews, some of them don't. So it really depends on where you end up being at. And then after you spend your allotted amount of time in the transitional housing, then you get moved up into getting your own housing. And your own housing could be your own condo, your own townhouse, your own apartment, or it could be a place where you have to share with people, like share a kitchen or share a bathroom or something like that. So like I said, when you get into the shelter, be on your caseworker's ass. Every single day be checking up, every single day being like, yes, like this is the case plan. A case plan is something that they create a plan with you to help you get to the next step. Because the shelter, yeah, maybe it's nice, it's free, and you get to stay there, but you need to have your own place to live and you need to live by your own rules. So if you're serious and you really want to get your own house, be on the caseworker's ass. I'm telling you, I was on my caseworker's ass and I was in and out the homeless shelter in 5 months. People stay there for like 2-3 years. I was in there for 5 months only, and they got me housing because I was serious. I was showing up to my case management meetings. I was showing up to all my therapy appointments. I was showing up, and that was showing them that I'm serious. And because I'm showing them that I'm serious, they go hard for me. Like, they were going hard for me. Your case plan doesn't only have to be about like housing. It can also be about health, your religion, money. It could be literally about whatever you want, but mainly the next step. And hygiene. I was blessed to be in a shelter that was very clean, very well kept. Like I said, we have cleaners, but a lot of shelters are not very clean. And when I first came to the shelter, the water was super cold. Like, I was like, I'm not showering in that water. If you have the means, I would definitely suggest getting gym membership, because I'm pretty sure all gyms have washrooms and showers and mirrors and blow dryers where you can like get ready, do your hygiene, do what you gotta do. But if you can't afford a gym membership like Planet Fitness or Fit for Less even, search up the recreational centers in your area. Toronto has a lot of recreational centers that have pools, that have gyms, that have basketball courts, volleyball courts, ping pong tables, all these things. If you don't feel comfortable using your shelter amenities, literally go to one of those recreational centers. There's a lot of them. Go shower there. My favorite one was the one on Black Creek Community Center. That one is newly renovated, nice and clean. Another thing I should mention is when you are in shelters, I'm not sure if this is every single shelter, but shelters are not there to have you like be a bum. If you think you can hop in the shelter and do nothing, that's not gonna work. My shelter, you have to be up and out of your room by, I think it was 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. It's either you're doing the program or you're getting out the building. And people don't really like it because it kind of feels like school, but I really appreciated that because it helped me get more discipline and actually have a routine for myself. And it can help you in a lot of ways. And another piece of advice, when you get into the shelters, use all the amenities you can. Some people get shelters where the workers are not that nice, but like I said, I was super blessed to get to the shelter that I was in because they had counselors 24/7. If you ever have a problem, if you ever are scared, if you have like some religious beliefs where you need certain time to pray or like be outside to pray that goes outside of your curfew, they will literally allow you, they will understand. You just have to be communicative. And I would definitely suggest, like, if the shelters say we're going on a trip or we have this program you should do, definitely join the program. Because if your shelter is like my shelter, they had program from Monday to Friday. Those were money management programs, mental health programs, job employment programs, etc. Pay attention to what programs your shelter is running so you can actually utilize them to the best of your ability, because guess what? It's going to be free. And I should also mention, when you get to the shelter, everything is free. Okay, food's free, drinks are free, laundry's free, programs are free, trips are free, everything is free. So literally use that to your advantage. Definitely use that time that you're in the shelter to just stack the F up. Okay, because like I said, everything is free. Like, when you become homeless and when you go to a shelter, you might just want somebody to talk to. And I know that like BetterHelp and like therapy is actually very expensive, but don't be alarmed. My bad, SD card got full. Okay, so I think I was talking about therapy. When it comes to therapy, I know therapy can be expensive, and when you get in shelters and when you become homeless, it can be a really heavy subject, and sometimes you just need to get it off your chest. So there are some resources that I know that offer free therapy for people ages 16 to 29. The ages vary depending on which organization you go with, but literally all you gotta do is walk in or call them, sign sign up with an intake form. The intake entails your name, birthday, basic information, and then what brings you to have therapy. So utilize those while you're in the age bracket because they are free, like I said. I'm gonna put some down below, but the one that I do recommend is Stella's Place, and I do recommend YSM Young Street Mission. If you're calling Central Intake and they're not answering, do your due diligence and go to support programs. Go to organizations that support people in your situation. Where I went to before I became homeless was Young Street Mission, and they were already helping me to find my own housing and find therapy, find dental benefits, all these things. And they're literally there to help you. It's just not broadcasted for some reason. It's like, if you need it, you look for it. So I would recommend going to Young Street Mission if you're in like an abusive relationship, abusive household, and you need to like escape. That'd be the perfect place for you to go. That's the one that I use. If I remember any more, they're all gonna be in the description box down below. But yes, visit Young Street Mission. Tell them, listen, I'm getting abused. Make sure it's true though, because they're gonna want receipts. Not only are they gonna help you get on housing programs and stuff, they can also help you with food, because food is a big thing. There's a lot of food banks in Toronto. There's a lot of organizations that will connect you to food banks that actually have proper food. Now, when it comes to money, there's a couple resources that you can use. You can sign up for Ontario Works, ODSP, EI, and those are the ones that I use. I would recommend Ontario Works if you're in between jobs, because Ontario Works, it's literally made to help you survive while you're looking for employment. If you have worked a job that has been taxed, especially in the past year, I would recommend applying for EI first, which is employment insurance, because the more hours you work that are taxed, the more money you have with EI that can help you while you're looking for a job or while you're unemployed or while you're homeless. And EI will definitely give you way more money than Ontario Works. Ontario Works now, they are more likely to accept you given you provide the legitimate information, but they don't pay as much as EI, and it's literally just for survival, like just for like your minimum basics, food, maybe a little bit of transportation here and there, call it a day. ODSP, if you struggle with mental health issues, especially utilize this if you've been hospitalized with your mental health issues, or if you take any prescriptions that like antipsychotics or like antidepressants, anything in that range, you should be applying for ODSP, because they'll give you up to like, I think it's like 1,200. I think it depends on who and what your situation is, and you do have to get accepted. You do have to like write out why you think you deserve it, what your problems are. You have to really explain to them how your mental health affects you, and if you're eligible, you will get like at least $1,000 a month, which is very helpful. And honestly, I do want to say before I end this video, if you are homeless, don't be afraid to talk about it. Like sometimes it could feel a little bit embarrassing, like wow, like you go on social media, everybody's a millionaire, everybody has their condo, everybody has everything they need, and then you're here just looking for a fucking box to live in. Even you would accept that. But honestly, when you get to organizations like Young Street Mission or like Stella's Place, or if you're signing up for Ontario Works or whatever the case is, don't leave anything behind. Tell them everything. Tell them all the trauma, everything you've been through. Tell them how you don't have no fucking money. Like, you have to really sell it. And when I say sell it, I don't mean lie. I mean really tell the truth, because sometimes, you know, ego, like you want to make it sound like you're stronger than you actually are, that you have it more together than you actually do. But when it comes to the situation, sorry, you don't have it together. You're homeless. You're bottom tier right now. Not saying you're worth less, but I'm saying is you don't even have the bare minimum. So you need to express that, and you need to go get help. You need to find these organizations. You need to call CI. You need to do these things, because guess what? I did these things. I went to YSM. I applied for Ontario Works. I applied for ODSP, because if y'all watch the video, and maybe I'll link it again, I had mental health issues. I got myself into a shelter, and now I'm in a beautiful, nice, newly renovated place. You feel me? And like, maybe I don't have like a big living room or like the skyline view, but this is more than what I had last year. Last year, I was thinking I'm gonna spend my 25th birthday in the snow, but now I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah, if you follow these steps, you should definitely get housing. If you are older than 25, the situation might be a little bit different, because I don't know how adult shelters are, but if you're especially a youth, this video is definitely going to work. You will get your situation sorted out, okay? If you're homeless, if you just became homeless, I know it's scary, I know it sucks, I know it might be a little bit embarrassing. Honestly, you're not the only one. When I made that video about me being homeless, a lot of people related. A lot of people came in my DMs and said, oh my gosh, I was in that same situation. So you're not as alone as you think you are. Social media is literally a scam. Like, and when I was homeless, this is what I was looking for. But yeah, I really hope this video helps you. I really hope you get out of your situation. Please, please, please don't be afraid to sign up for government funding. Don't be afraid to get yourself into a shelter if that's what you need to do. Like, don't be afraid to work a job that isn't up to your standards because you need to get money. Don't be afraid to do what you got to do to get to where you need to get to. And one thing I will tell you, you may be homeless now, but you're not going to be homeless forever. If there's any other information that I missed, everything will be in the description box down below. Please get the help you need, because you deserve it. Love ya.